Hello, class. I hope you're all in good health and happy wherever you are. In this tutorial, I would like to take the time and then show you how we can write a function with parameters and pass argument to it. And it's going to be a basic simple function to help you out how you can start writing your first function and how to compile it, how to run it, and how to see the result. With that said, let's go ahead and start with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the file. Of course, you have to launch your IDL and create a new file. And here what I'm going to say is I'm going to put some comment. And I'm going to say objective, so we know what we're doing. Is to create a function to add two values, right? Right. So the next thing what we need to do is we need to create our function. So in this case, the syntax says def space. In this case, I'll name my function addition, and I'll be passing two parameters x and y. Of course, you can pass more, but this function requires only two because we're adding two values. Now, once we press enter, the editor it goes to the next line, but it does not go to the beginning of the line because that's the way Python works. So it needs to have indent the next line. So it's so when the compiler runs, it knows how it needs to interpret the code. So I would not move the cursor and start from there. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call it sum, and I'm going to say equal sign x plus y. So basically, I'm adding x and y and taking the total, the value, the sum of that, and passing to variable named sum, which is going to be stored someplace in the memory. Next, what I want to do is, so now I'm adding these two values. Now I want to print results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the print command, print the sum is, for instance, and then the variable sum. Next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead, now that I completed my code, my sample function, I'm going to say run. And of course, it's going to ask you to save this. So I'll say addition demo, save. So basically what happened is it ran. With the good news is that we didn't get any error messages, right? But now the question is, how come we didn't get any of the results printed? So now let's go troubleshoot this. The reason is because we never called the function. So in this case, I'm going to go add another line here, and I'm going to call my function. I'm going to pass two arguments, 6 and 4. And now let's go run the code again. Wow, okay, so now it ran, but now as you can see, we got the result. 6 plus 4 is 10. All right, now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and call the same function, but I give a different value argument. Now I'm going to run it again. See, so it keeps on adding. So as you know, our function runs successfully. And the good thing about our function is that we can write one function and call it as many times as we wish. So another way that we can do this is we can not print it here, but instead we are passing we are using the return statement. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the print statement, such as this, like this one. So what we're doing here is we modify our function. Instead of having a print statement within that function, we are returning, we are adding the values x and y and passing it to some the variable, and we just return this function. We will return that the total. So when this prints, it's actually going to print the sum of the argument x and y. So let's run, see if we get any error messages. Very good. So as you can see, it did print the result. We didn't get any error, which is great. Now here we can put additional information saying the sum is so I'll make it a little bit more meaningful. So let's write it again. Okay, good. Now, so let's just to recap. So our objective was to show you how you can start to write a simple Python function with two parameters and passing some argument and then printing the result on the screen. I really encourage you to go ahead and do some additional, experiment where you can pass maybe 3 or 4 argument and add them, and just get the feel for how to create a function and do some, error. See if you can get some error messages and see how you can fix it. For instance, if I do this and I run that, we're gonna see it says expected and indented block, right? So this could be very tricky if you keep on writing a bunch of code, if a statement, an additional function within the function calling, and then you don't run it after writing few lines and then run it. At least you can catch the error right away. You know where the error is. But just to be careful with that. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope it's going to help you to start your first simple Python function and run it and with 2 parameters. Thank you.